Hello? Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's class. Let's wait a couple more minutes for more people to join the class before we get started. Dr. Tulu, are you there?
Yes, I am. I'm here.
All right, I just wanted to be sure that you're ready to go. Okay. All right. Let's just wait a couple more minutes, guys, before we get started.
Oh, God.
Is everything okay?
Yeah. I made a mistake.
Okay.
Please, can you see my screen?
Yes. Yes. It's visible right now. Hand raised. You want to ask a question?
Josephine, do you have any question?
I'm wondering if people are having trouble joining to this class. Just do you want to speak? It looks like people are having trouble using this link. Someone just complained on Telegram saying unable to join the class because insufficient space for Zoom app. Oh, okay. So use the web. What was your experience joining Festus? What was your experience joining this platform here this evening? Is it clumsy compared to last week? What's it like? Josephine, you wanted to speak earlier as well. Oh, okay. I think
Israel, did you call my name?
okay. I'm just realizing that we may need to allow them to speak after they raise their hands. Yeah. So guys, the reason why we're testing this platform is that Google Meet didn't allow for extensive recording. So we lost a bunch of last class. Yeah, so we want a platform that allows us to, that gives you the convenience necessary while also allowing us to, keep recordings of these classes for people that are not able to join live, right? And what we're just trying to do is to understand what is the experience joining, what is it like using this platform? Is it uh, easy to use? You may need to raise your hand so that you would be allowed to speak. Josephine, you can speak.
Okay, so good evening, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, good evening.
Yes.
We can hear you.
Okay. I wasn't around last week, so that was one of the main questions I wanted to ask because I noticed that on Telegram,
Aha.
you said we're going to
Okay.
have we're going to redo the class. So I wanted to ask whether that's still possible, and now we can
Oh,
maybe we can share the slides or something, and we can catch up from last week class.
good question. So the class was really, really loaded. We asked on Telegram. Are you on Telegram?
Yes, I'm on
Are you on?
Telegram.
Okay. Votes that. Uh, votes. We only saw about 6 people that voted it, and that number seems pretty small compared to what we were having in mind. So at least let's get to 10 people voting for a yes. Let's have a redo of the class. So I think somewhere I'm trying to find it. We can have a redo of. We can totally have a redo of the class whenever. We can definitely schedule that, but we just need to see that okay, a substantial amount of people missed the class, and it's worth investing in redoing the class. So I'm trying to get you the message. Did you see the message where we were asking?
Yes, I think another thing is that most people are not on the Telegram. So if that, maybe you should ask the question on WhatsApp. So I don't think most people, the Telegram has a lot of groups and everything. So people can, I almost missed it. I almost missed the question. So I had to
Oh,
be navigating through each section in this thing. So I think maybe you should ask on
I see.
WhatsApp. And also, I noticed that you told us that we could get the videos for the last cohort. So the videos for the last course is not playing. When you click on the link, it says not available or something.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
We'll check that. We'll
All
check
right.
that. We'll check. Okay, it looks like some people are still having issues with the Zoho platform based on what they are putting on here. Zoho app is installed. Please join. Please click join webinar. Oh, so are you using your app? Are you using an app to join right now? Did you have to install the app before you could join, Josephine? Could you confirm?
No, I'm using web. I'm using Chrome. So I'm using it's web based.
Are
I
you
didn't
are you
install
on
any app.
mobile right now? Are you on mobile?
No, laptop.
Oh, you're
The
on
laptop.
laptop. Okay. Okay. All right. Thanks, Josephine. Hi, Cynthia. Hi, Cynthia. Please, you can unmute. Or read one. Do you want to go? Read one.
Hi,
Now,
can
do
you
you
hear
want to
me?
speak? Hi.
Yes.
Okay, Cynthia, please
Good
go on.
evening. Yeah. Okay, you were
Good
asking if we're
evening.
using app. I'm using a phone, so when I tried joining the webinar, it asked me to download the app first. So I had to download the app before I could.
Oh,
But it's easy. Just input your name, your email, download the app, and it will bring you here.
oh, okay. Wow, I didn't expect it to be that clumsy. Some people don't have enough space in their phone to take a new app. Okay. Join webinar. Okay. Okay. Thanks for that. Read one. Obina.
Hello?
Yes, please go ahead.
Hello, good afternoon. Good evening, sir.
Good afternoon. Hello,
Good
good
evening.
evening.
Yeah. For me, I tried downloading the Zoho. There is one app. I saw Zoho webinar. I downloaded the app, but it was unable to take me in the meeting. Because when I inputted the address now that they are telling me wrong details. So I don't know what's actually the problem. Which I'm now using Chrome to join the meeting.
Oh, so you're on the web browser now, right? On a laptop.
Yeah. Sir? No, I'm using my phone. I'm using my phone myself, my device, my phone.
Wow. So
Yes, I'm using
so you're using Chrome on your phone right now.
exactly. Exactly. Right now I'm using
How did,
Chrome through the
how did you
webcam.
manage? How did you manage?
See, see, how do I manage? That is how
Could
it
you
is, sir.
could you
I don't
explain?
know
Could you explain how you managed to do it?
no, like when I tried downloading the Zoho, I tried downloading the Zoho webinar app, which it couldn't go through. So when I now tap on the link you send on the email, so I tap on the link.
Okay.
It display Chrome or the Zoho app, which the Zoho app couldn't work. So I now use Chrome, which they took me to this place now.
Wow.
Hello.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. So
Yeah. So
there's no
was
any that
still
magic.
okay. I hope others to figure it out. I hope they will be able to figure it out.
I don't think it can
Okay.
use for
I
iOS
think that's possible because he already downloaded the app.
because I also
Okay.
tried it.
Yes, that's why it's slowed down. Because if you do not download the app, it won't allow you. It will just tell you to
Okay.
download the app.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Maybe that
Okay.
that could be the reason. Okay. It's okay.
Okay.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
so let's watch the experience and let's give our feedback. We will be watching out for your feedback. The most important thing is for people that are not able to join the class live to be able to access the recording. This platform makes it so easy to do that. It's the reason why we considered doing this. So we'll keep taking your feedback and we'll be reviewing that and then we'll make changes as necessary that would be good for your convenience as well. We allow, administrators do necessary things, like recording and administering the system. All right, I think it's 17 minutes past time. We will be getting started now. Dr. Tulu, the floor is yours.
Okay.
So you can all unmute now. Sorry, you can all mute rather. Yeah, thank you. All right, please go on. Hello.
So I thought you said we should unmute. We should mute.
Sorry, I was speaking to the Dr. Tulu specifically. I didn't know what's happening.
Yeah. Can everybody hear me?
Okay, sure. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
I'm
first
trying to turn on the video, but it's saying I can't. But no problem. Can everybody see my screen?
No, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can turn on the camera, but it's not letting me, so no problem. Well, my name is Todulokwe Odetola. It's good to go on this journey with everyone. This is a learning, so feel free at any point within the lesson to interrupt if there's anything. If I move too fast, just let me know. Feel free to call me behind. And also know there are no unnecessary questions, right? Because your problem may be many people's problem. So feel free to call me back anytime. Please, is my screen visible to everyone? Right. So yes, a little bit about myself. I got my bachelor's in Obafemi Awolowo University and my master's and my PhD in Tennessee Tech. After school, I had a stint as a lecturer at Lagos State Polytechnic. Then I got a job in Venture Garden Group. Then I came from my grad school. And then I've worked at Boston Scientific and I currently work at Whirlpool Corporation. And my specialization is in deployment of machine learning algorithms on constrained devices and basically explaining the mathematics of the AI and securing them, right? I know a lot of us are joining on the phone, but to get best experience, I would advise you join on, on your computer because it is going to be hands-on. So that means a lot of things that you can get now, you have to go either rewatch the videos and, it won't be live. So please, if you can, if it is possible, join on your computer and it will be hands-on at every point in time. So let's just, do that. So we're going to use Nime as our primary platform, and irrespective of your coding experience, right, we are going to try as much as possible to dissipate the knowledge to what you have. So Nime is a platform. You can just say Nime on Google and it will take you to download it. Where we'll get majority of our data to train is going to be on Kaggle, and then we'll probably use GitHub too as also a source of data. All right. This will be the class flow. The class flow will primarily go from regression and do, try to understand what regression is, how to predict, how to study trends, how to find the line of best fit, right? Then go to computer vision. Someone is raising up their hands. I don't know, Ridwan or Josephine. Okay, no problem. Just let me know if you want to talk. So we're going to flow with classification and a bit of, object detection. And if time permits us, we'll go into audio classification and so on. So far, any questions? If there are no questions, someone should just unmute and say no questions. Someone is raising. Yeah, okay, very good. I keep seeing someone raising up their hands, but okay. If your hand is raised, you can unraise your hand. So, yes. And this is just to, whet our appetite to say, hey, what is the current trend and how valuable is the skill I have? So many of us are based in Nigeria, but we can see that learning how to use Nine, the tool based it on, we can work from anywhere in the world. We all know Upwork, right? You can create Nine Upflow, we all know Upwork you can work from anywhere in the world. So this is not stopping your opportunities. So far you have internet, you can, learn this skill, go online and apply for a job and get it anywhere. Now, not just peculiar to Nine, right? There are also other job opportunities that are remote, that are this, that are that, 100% remote. You can work it from anywhere. So it's a skill in high demand now. It's a skill that if you have it, at least you are broadening your, opportunities. Make sense? Any questions so far? So sorry that I'm rushing this. I know time has gone. We're 24 minutes in. All right. So, and I want us to at least get hands-on on Nine, right? And get hands-on doing some machine learning things. So yes, learning starts. So many of us, like me, from Nigeria, this is how the sequence of learning happens, right? Maybe, and it goes across from kindergarten to, primary school, secondary school. Your first day of class, you get introduced to your friends, and your teacher comes in and teaches you some classwork, right? Once he teaches you some classwork, maybe from new general math or intensive English or, comprehension, the next thing is examples. The teacher explains the examples and, then you're either given an assignment or a classwork, right? So from examples, assignment, classwork, and from whatever you do, you will be giving corrections, right? They will tell you, okay, this is the correction, this is what is wrong, this is what is right. That will now reinforce your understanding to say, okay, whenever I see simultaneous equation, I will use substitution method or elimination method. I made this mistake. Instead of me to get 10, I got, 5/10, 4/10, or 9/10. I won't do it again, right? And then it happens first time, second time, and then they give you tests. Oh, our test is over 30. What do you get over 30? And then you now go and do your final exam, right? Now that final exam may come in as WAEC, may come in as NECO, may come in as JAMB, may come in as the real world, right? I hope I'm saying what majority of us faced in the education system, at least peculiar to Nigeria. So basically, this is the sequence of learning we are used to. This is the sequence of cultivating intelligence. And as we're going into artificial intelligence or machine learning, some set or subset of these steps is what we are going to adopt. You understand? We're going to give it classwork. We may not obviously say, oh, this is classwork, this is homework. And I know some of us have experience in this, but if you have any questions, please let me know, right? But usually this is the sequence of cultivating intelligence, right? You have to give it and you have to correct, give and correct, right? And what does machine learning entail? We have machine learning life cycle. So say, for example, you apply for a job, and what is the job? The job is that, hey, I want you to tell me when my customers are going to be ordering for a particular set of products. That's the business objective. So you tell them, okay, what are the type of data you need? This is the type of data I need. Now, the data may be consistent or inconsistent. You have to prepare that data. You have to now delve into the data to see correlations, and that informs your exploratory data analysis. Then, after doing some data, analysis, you now build a model. Someone is raising up their hand. Kenneth, are you there? Festus.
Hello, sir. Please, can you enlarge? Can you bold the machine learning modeling sequel a little? You should bold it a little. Let me view through.
Okay, I would expand on it. I would expand the image. Yeah, no problem. So and then you evaluate the model to see if it is, you know, actually doing what it's supposed to do, and then you deploy the model. You now test the model like your exam. You test the model. Is it passing the test well? Is it failing the exam well? If not, it has to repeat. You know, if the model does not pass, it has to repeat, right? Some of us repeated, and some of us did not repeat, right? But it was all just to make it better, right? So now, and what does all this sequence, if you go to the nitty-gritty of it, what does it mean? It means, you know, you have to manage your data. So when you get data gathering, you collect the data, you clean it, then you pick different algorithms, evaluate it. So say, for example, you have simultaneous equation. What are the different approaches you use? Is it is it substitution method or elimination method or quadratic equation? Is it completing the square or factorization or almighty formula? Which method, which algorithm, which approach is best for you? Then you now evaluate it. Is left hand side equal to right hand side? Then when you evaluate it, you deploy. What does that deploy mean? You submit the model or no. But basically, I'm just trying for us to relate a real life scenario of cultivating intelligence to going on paper on the computer to training artificial intelligence, right? And I know last class we touched on concept of correlations between natural intelligence and artificial intelligence. So many of these steps have been adopted, you know, to artificial intelligence too. Make sense? So this is the link to download 9. It will be the platform we would, you know, be using for most of this class. All right. So if you go to 9, right, all you just need to do is write your name. It's a free platform, you know, and it is easy to use. The beautiful thing about it, it is drag and drop. You can see it. Download it today and use it free forever. It is free. It is this, it is that, right? You know, and it is drag and drop. You don't need to code. There are modules that you just need to know what is their input, what is their output, and what is their use, right? So 9. We are getting close to, you know, getting our hands dirty with 9. Let me see. So yes, 9. So what are we doing today? It is hands-on. Now, if you are with your computer, can you signify? If you are attending this meeting on your computer, is it possible to signify? I don't know if there's anybody. Someone raised up their hand. Afolabi. Is anybody else? Yeah, people are. Yes.
I think there's a poll. Let me see if I can add a poll.
Okay. So, and please, you know, so to get the best experience. So when I was in school, my lecturer used to say, I think 60% of what you hear is what is retained, right? 60% of what you hear, or 60 or 40% of what you hear is what is retained. It goes up to 80% if you write it down, right? Like, oh, you know, when someone says it and you write it down, you probably hear it. But, you know, if you're hands-on, so we cannot relate it to hands-on. If you are doing it as I'm doing it, even if it takes you a while to go back to it, you will remember that, oh, you know, because you experienced it with me, right? It's a journey. I want us to go, you know, with it together and have it. Yes. And like I said, the joy it will give me is the day after this call, I want a situation where people be like, I came up with my resume and I did this, and you know, I got interviews, you know, to attend. So yes, I just want us to at least keep that in mind. So yes, now for those listening without a laptop, at every point in time, just let me know. You know, just let me know if you want me to go back, if you want me to reinforce some explanation, just let me know. Make sense? So I am going to stop sharing and then share my entire screen. Right. share my entire screen. So I just reshared. Someone is raising up their hands again. Is there any question? I'm going to be off the browser. So if you want to ask a question, unmute and just interrupt me. Make sense? I'm going to be off the browser now and be on the 9 platform. So I won't know if someone is raising up their hands. So feel free to just interrupt me. Is my screen visible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. So we are going to focus on the
We'll be helping you moderate. I don't think they can speak yet until they are
Okay.
unmuted.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Kenneth is raising his hand. Kenneth, do you want to quickly go before he continues? Kenneth, read one. Speak. You can unmute if you want to speak. You've been given the permission to unmute if you want. Okay.
Okay, I think we can continue. Oh, sorry. So we are going to focus on busting data, and those that are in, machine learning, this is a very, very popular, data set, a very popular data set. But we are going to move from the known to the unknown before we get, crazy, and it just becomes overwhelming for us. We're going to move step by step, and that's why this first class is critical. It will lay foundation for every other thing we will do, right? So now this is the Boston housing data set. And what's the goal? Now, if you remember the machine learning objective is, what is the business objective? What do we want to do, right? What do we want to do? We want to what? We've collected information from US sensors, and we want to what? Predict the housing price of a particular house, the price of a house. Now, that's the business objective. What will be the house? What's the price of this house? Is this house cheap? Is this house expensive? What is the house, right? Now, it's going to be, what are the factors we are going to consider? This is where you come in. Oh, what are the factors? What's your data set? That's the question you ask. You want to factor in the crime rate. You want to factor in, if it's residential. You want to factor in how many retail business are there. You want to factor in if there's some form of contamination, concentration. Basically, this is the data set. So now for this exercise, we'll be assuming that you've asked the question, you've done the data cleaning. How do you create a model? So to do the data cleaning, all that is involved. Once we understand how to create the model, we'll come back to that and give us ourselves dirty data, how to clean it. Make sense? Make sense? I'm going to, so to make this class much more interactive, I'm going to cram somebody's name. That person is the person I'll be calling. Then when I call the person 3 times, I'll come and cram another person's name. So, Fumi, can you unmute? Let's hear your voice. Fumi, are you there? Hello? Fumi? Okay, she's not there. Emmanuel Williams, are you there? Can everybody hear me?
I can hear you, sir.
Yes, I can hear
Okay.
you. I can hear you, sir.
Okay. Who is the person talking? Who just
He
talked?
can.
Huh?
If first he can first.
If
He can. Festus, he can. Festus, he
okay,
can.
Festus. So I'm going to be off the screen. Whenever I say, can anybody hear me? I will say Festus, right? So that, you'll be my guide, right? So now, like I said, we're going to assume we have a clean data set, very clean and fine-tuned data set, right? Once we have clean data set, what does that mean? And what do we do about it? So these people come, maybe I'm in the office, they send me the link, they are like, oh, get the data. I download the data. When I download the data, and I have downloaded 9. Let's say I have downloaded 9, right? So let me close this and let's see. Let me close this, and then I will come here. I will say done. I will say, 9. So 9 opens fresh like that. It asks me to create a workspace, so I will launch my workspace. So like I see it's a workspace, right? And then it's going to ask me, right? It's going to ask me, let's create a new workflow. Let's create a new workflow. Let's call it Boston housing. So those that are using computers, please feel free to go to your, browser, download your download 9, and let's just go step by step. And of course, thank God it's being recorded, so we can use together. So this is 9 in a nutshell. What is 9? The beauty of 9 is you don't need to code. Everything is drag and drop. You don't need to remember syntax. You don't need to know a programming language. It is ready to use. All you need to know is understand the problem and know how to think. Right? Understand the problem. Sorry, not know how to think, but use your thinking well and know the use of each block. So there are different nodes. So a brief introduction to the interface. There are different nodes. So what does different nodes? Nodes means there's the input output. So there's the input output node. So what does input output node do? If your document, the document they give you is an Excel document, you can write with an Excel. You can read from an Excel, write to an Excel. If it's from a Google Sheet, you can connect to a Google Sheet. If it's from the cloud, you can connect to the cloud. If it's from a CSV, you understand? Depending on your input data type, you can pick any module that will work with it. Right? So this is your input output node. Please, any question, feel free to interrupt me. Right? So now, we also have the manipulation node, right? Which is that, all the little things you want to do. You want to filter a row, you want to change a string, whatever manipulation you want to do, there is a node there, and there is a lot. And all these things, you get to know it as you keep using and using and using, right? Based on usage, based on experience, you will keep using it. We have views. So you want to do visualization. After you did your stuff, you want to see how beautiful your model is, if it's performing, what are the trend lines you want to see. You have, all these ways to, visualize them, right? Some of them we're going to use today, and some of them we use later. For analytics, you're going to use analytics, training your model, training your data. This is it, right? So we are going to use that. And then if you want to link to any database, these are database. Other types of data types, you want to manipulate strings, if you want to work with structured data, if you want to script, maybe to JavaScript, to Java, to Python. Yes. Different tools if you're working with APIs, and so on, right? And then much more importantly, this is for generating reports, right? I think as a data analyst, you generate reports. Festus, are you there? Is anybody raising up their hand?
We can hear you, but we are not raising up our hands.
Yeah, okay. Any questions so far? Am I making sense?
No questions. You can continue.
Yes.
So I have a question.
I knew. My mind was telling me that somebody asked a question. Yes, please.
Number one, you are going too fast. And number two, I'm trying to download the 9, but it's showing 9 analytical, and it's giving me 3 options. It's saying 9 analytics platform for Windows installer for self-extracting archive and zip archive. Which one are we supposed to download?
Okay, hold on. Are you using a Windows computer?
Yes.
Okay, you're using it. Just let me see if I can
Sir,
go to the window.
I'm using Linux. How should I download?
Yeah. Sorry, just hold on. Just hold on. Yep. Department, just anything. Yeah, agreed. Okay. So yes, you are using Linux. You can see for the person using Linux, you can just download this. For the person using
Okay,
Linux.
sir.
Yes. Now, for the person using Windows, now you said you can just download the installer, right? Just download the installer and install. You can see you have installer, self-extracting, and zip archive. Let's just use the installer.
Hello, sir.
Yes, listening to you.
Sorry to interrupt you, sir. Please, sir, I would love to get your number because my network here is really disturbing me. And after here, I would love to get in touch with you. So please, can you share me with your contact? Sorry to ask.
No problem. Just message me on Telegram. We can talk. Right? Just
On Telegram. But
yeah.
The group, I'm not I'm not on the group, on the Telegram group, which I don't have your digit. I'll get there. Sorry to interrupt you, sir.
Let's talk more as the class at the end of the class. Let's talk.
My network is disturbing me. I don't think it will even take me to the end of the class. That's why I'm kind of like being.
Don't worry. Is this Festus?
Exactly, sir. Yes.
Yeah, Festus, the class is being recorded. You would be able to catch up with the recorded class, and I will drop the link to the Telegram community on the chat, so you can, reach anybody from the Telegram community. Is that fine?
Yes. Currently, I'm not on the Telegram channel. Like seriously, I'm not on
link to that. I will drop the link to that on the chat just in a minute.
Oh, okay. It's okay. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Okay.
Yes. Somebody has said, I'm moving too fast, so I'm going to go back a few steps, right? So has everybody downloaded? People downloading.
The download is actually.
The download is what? It's taking time, Abby. Someone said something now.
Yes, it's taking time.
Okay, no problem. Let me know when you finish downloading. I will.
Taking time.
Yes, it's taking time. So what I want you to, as it's downloading, let's just focus on the class. We have the recorded video, but I promise I will go back, even if it means I have to repeat myself. At least it reinforces our understanding.
Downloaded it. Downloaded it.
So once you download, just install. Right. So far, once download is finished, once you launch it, you create an interface, you create a workflow, you create a workspace, and from the workspace you load in, you get here, and it will show you different nodes. This is what it is. Now the beautiful thing is that NAIM comes with an AI assistant, right? It comes with an AI assistant that you can even ask it questions and say, hey, sir, how do I do this workflow? Just log in with your Gmail and you're good.
But I'm playing the level version.
What did you say?
Sir, my download is 700 and something MB, so it will take me a bit of time before it finishes.
No problem. When you are done, I will do another problem following the same steps. Just listen as we're going. Just be downloading.
Okay, sir.
Don't fret that, it's downloading. You're not going to miss anything. Just listen.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Yes? Did someone say something? Okay. Let's go. Let's continue. So, like I said, this is a journey. It's not a day's journey, but we will go through it.
Sorry, doctor. Please, if you're not speaking, can you mute Mohammed, Samuel? It's disturbing the class. So if you're not speaking, please mute. Mohammed, Samuel, and there are other bunch of other people that are unmuted. Please make sure that Samuel is still not muted. Hello.
Yeah, okay.
Please go ahead. You have a question?
Is there anybody that has a question? Okay.
Yeah, I'm
So let's
just trying to get them to mute. Please
yes.
mute everybody. Let me see if I can disable them. If you're not muting yourself and you're interrupting the class, I'll unfortunately disable you from speaking. Okay? All right. You can continue, please.
So yes, what is the thing we're trying to achieve? We're trying to build a workflow to predict busting house prices. Now, what type of document did they give me? They gave me a CSV file. So that means I require a file. What I can come here and say, oh, it's a CSV file. I'll just type CSV. What is it saying? It's saying that we have a CSV reader and a CSV writer. So you can search, or you can go to input output, and go and look for CSV. It's the same route. So all I'll do is drag and drop CSV, right? A CSV reader. Please let me know if I'm moving too fast. A CSV reader. Now you can see these three lines. There are three dots. There's red, white, white. It means that we've just put it, but we've not configured it correctly, right? Now, if you look at it on top, there's configure, there's execute, there's cancel, and there's what reset. So everything, most of them, you have to configure them. So what do you configure to an input reader? You give it what to read. It's a reader. You have to give it what to read. What is it going to read? It's going to read a file. It's going to read a file. And what's the file? It's a CSV file, Boston housing. Right? Now, it has read the CSV file. It has shown you, oh, this is the file. There are 0, 1, 2. This is the number of rows I have. This is the column I have. Like, okay, are you sure this is the file? Yes, this is the file. And yes, okay. You can see that it has moved from red to yellow. That means it is ready for you to what? Execute. It is ready for you to what? Execute. Now, when I execute it, that means that it is going to your file location and it is what? It is reading it. It has executed and it has executed successfully. That's why it is green. So when I read the file, it's telling me that, oh, these are all the rows. These are the features, right? We are assuming that this data is already clean, right? These are the features, right? And everything. What's the statistics? For each column in the features, is there any missing value? There is no missing value because some people can forget to type. Some data can be inconsistent. Is there any missing value? There's no missing value. How many unique values? 506. Yes. Someone wants to say something. Hello.
Guys, let's be orderly. Let's be orderly. Let's not do that. If you're not muting yourself, I will disable you from being able to speak. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Sorry,
So
before we continue,
yes.
I have downloaded it. I'm following you. I've got. I do not have access to the data sets. Where can I get it?
Okay. I will send you the link now. I will send the link now. That's it. I'm going to send you this link now. So I'm going to post this on the chat, and then you can just click here and download. All right. This is the meeting. This is the message. Can you see? I've dropped the. Wait. Start the conversation. Okay. Shift enter. Israel, I'm trying to paste it on the chat, but it's not
going.
Like when I press enter, chat with co-organizers.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, you can use the Q&A.
Let me see.
I think you can try the Q&A.
Oh, there's a Q&A. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yes. So you can download the data set from there.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So yes, we have this is telling us basically the attribute of this, that on crime rate, the minimum value is this, right? The maximum value is this. This is the 25th percentile. If you sum everything, so just some statistical attributes about each column, right? Without coding, we have access to all this. We know that there are 14 columns, right? And this is 14 rows. If I come to the table, it's telling me there are 506 rows, there are columns and everything. So with this, you can validate that, the level of sanity of your data, if it is aligned with what you're expecting, right? So now I have this CSV reader. What is the thing I want to achieve? We are assuming that the data is already clean. About cleaning the data, exploratory data analysis, we will go, is out of scope for today's class, but let's achieve that. My goal today is for you to take a model, take a data, use 9, train a model on it. And even if you can go a step further by training it with several strategies for you to see how easy to say several strategies to train it. So I have read the data. What's the thing I want to do next? Now, what did we say about cultivating intelligence? Now, the model is a student, is someone that just got promoted from GSS to SS1. They don't know anything about anything, right? But the data is what we want to train them on. The data is like the simultaneous equation, is the subject we want to train them on. The model currently is non-existent. So they are currently, this is first term, we want to show them more. What do you do? As a teacher, you will first do your course outline. In your course outline, you have, this is all your course outline, 506 rows, right? What do you now want to do? You are going to separate it into what you give them as classwork, what you give them as homework. Now, what does that mean? All those big English, what does that mean? There's going to be something called a partitioning model. Oh, sorry, I mean input outputs, right? I'll come to a partitioning model. Now, what does this partitioning model do, right? It takes in an input and it will partition it. So if I come to configure, it has taken in the CSV reader. I will configure it and it will tell me that, oh, we want to do train, we want to do test, we want to do train test split. Now, this is telling us that everything is 100%, but I want 70% to go to train. So that's the upper part. And I want 30% to go to, so the 506 columns will be separated into two. The top one will take 70%, the lower one will take 30% because it's train test split. You can change this number to whatever you want, right? Unless I've configured it, and by the time I execute, it will tell me. Now the rows is 313, right? So that's the top one. Now it has, before here it was 506. Now it has separated into, 313 based on the percentage of difference, right? Now, so far, so I've taught us two modules, how to read from a CSV file, how to partition it into, how to partition it into train and test, right? Now, when I train it and I test it, what do I want to do? I'm just going to go straight to the point. No shaker tools, no fancy stuff. After we train and test it, let's give it to a model. Let's use linear regression. So, and this is where your learning comes from. What type of models do we have? We are doing regression. So let's say it's a regression model, right? Let's do linear regression. Now, I'm expecting a question here. If you don't ask me, I will ask you. I am expecting a question. I'm going to call
what's
anybody.
linear regression?
What is linear regression? Before linear regression, that's related to it. But before linear regression, what is regression again? So, Mike, the question was
some people have their hands up. Some people have their hands up.
Okay. Yes, please.
Yeah.
Kenneth,
so
you can omit one after the other.
Yeah.
My question is, I wanted to ask, when you separated the data sets to train and for testing, the only thing I was seeing was absolute and relative, like which part of it is the testing part and which part of it is the training set.
Can you see my screen? You said what you can see was what? Absolute.
The absolute was showing 100 and the other relative was showing 70, and you changed it
Oh
to
no,
60.
that was the configuration. That was the configuration. So I changed it to 62, right? So if you look at it, the first partition contains 62% of the data, which is 313 rows. The second partition, the remaining rows, contains 193, which is 100 minus 62. 38%. Did I get it? Yes. 38% of the data. So if you look at, if I take this one like this, and I take it here, that means this data add 100%, 506 rows, right? Now, when I got here, I split it into two, 313 and what? 193. The 100 and the 313 is what I want to use it as example, classwork, quiz for my students. That's what I'm going to give it to the learner, which is the what? Student. This 193 is what is their exam, their test for their continuous assessment, their test, their classwork. That's what I want to do. Does it make sense? Can you see this row? This was 506. When I got here, based on what I so if I come here and I say, well, maybe the examples is too short, let me make it 70 or 74%, and I apply, it will reset it. I'll say, okay, it will reset it. I need to re-execute it. Boom. You can see now, before it was 339, it's 374, because now, right, 74% of the data is going towards training, examples, classwork. And the other one, 132%, is going towards tests of the data. Am I making sense?
Yes.
Yes, very good. Any other questions, please? Bring it on.
Yeah, we have about 5 people.
Yes, please. I have a
raising their
question, even
hands.
though I didn't raise my
Yes.
hand. I didn't
Yes.
raise my hand, but I have this question. Sorry to take us a bit backwards. I've been trying to find the partitioning within the space where you found yours, and I can't find it. I don't know if I'm doing something
So
wrong.
are you sure you are not currently logged on a node? So if you are, like for example, input output,
I am on still on nodes. Nodes is still showing.
Which node are you on? So you can see this input output
IO.
that is IO. So on tickets, go back, don't go on any node.
Okay. It's I just deselected
And then
it.
type partitioning.
It's not showing.
Have you seen it?
What I am seeing, if I type part,
yes,
before completing it, I'm seeing data and time part, heat map, histogram, density plot, box plot, strings to number.
Wait, hold on. On the top line of what you're searching, is anything
views, column, manipulation +4.
So is it dark? Is it dark like this?
It's not dark. It's not. None of them is selected.
None of them is selected. Okay. What did you?
My input is PAT.
PART.
PART.
PART. Have you seen it now?
Not showing. So I don't know if this is peculiar to me. That's just why I have to ask.
I think it's peculiar to you.
It's not only you. I'm also stuck there as well.
You are not seeing partition.
Yes. I can see partition. Okay, but if
what environment are you using?
Sorry.
Whatever.
What OS are you using?
Windows, probably.
No, I'm using Windows 10.
Yeah, that should not matter actually.
So maybe we can continue, no problem. I will
Hold on.
try.
This is what I want you to do. I don't know. Is it possible on the Q&A to attach an image? No, I don't think so. If you can take a screenshot and let's just see what.
Let me try. I can try.
You can use Telegram. You can use the Telegram.
Yes, you can paste it on Telegram.
Okay, I am right there. You see it now. I just did now.
It's pasted on Telegram.
Yes, sir. At the general platform.
Okay. The general Zoom. Zoom X. General.
The first general, the hash. Can you see it?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, thank you.
It looks like you're doing everything. So this is what I want you to do. Hold on. LTI. I want you to go to views, manipulation, views, column manipulation. Okay. It may be okay. I'm going to do that with you. This should not stop us. So let's assume. Hold on. Let's assume. Okay. So because you don't have partitioning, it's going to assume you're using 100% of your data for training. Do you understand? So let's do it like this. We're going to do it. And so this concept is not advisable, it's not best in practice. But I just want us to get a full experience of how it goes. Now, since you don't have partition, right? I'm doing this for the sake of those that don't have partition. It is not advisable, it is not best practice, but I want you to get the full experience. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to assume I don't have partition. I'm going to copy Control C and Control V this CSV writer. Now, this is assuming that I have partitioned it, right? So I will take this thing. So that means 100% of my example is going to my regression learner. 100%, right? Now, in some cases, there were times when our teacher would just give us our example and our classwork as test and exam. That's what we are going to do here. So what am I going to do? I'm going to run everything. This learner, oh yeah, look at the examples, look at the classwork. Let me see what you've learned. This learner is telling me that they have learned, right? That they have learned. That's why it's green. So now let me, hold on. I think I've gone faster than myself. I'm going to delete. I'm going to come here. I'm going to say linear regression learner. I'm just starting again. So we have the CSV reader with our examples, linear regression learner. What's the first thing? We need to configure it. When we let's first pass in a data into it. When we pass in the data, let's configure it. Now, when we configure it, what is it trying to tell us? They have already pre-filled some configuration on it. What's the configuration that they want? Now, the business objective, let me close this again. Let me come in. The business objective is that, the data has a sample of some attributes of an area. We want you to predict the median, or the value of the location. This is the value of the location they want us to predict. This column, MED-V. That's the value of the column they want us to predict. But the only thing we have access to, let's assume we have access to this. So it's just like, all these are your variables. Go and find X, and X is 24. When you check the back of your new general maths and you check the answer, it's 24, right? But these are all the examples they will give us. So whenever you see this number, 24, this number, 21.6. So when we come to the learner, this is what we are telling it. We are telling it that using the examples, MED-V is your example, but these are all the columns you have access to. This is what you should do. Now, if you want to be dynamic and say, I think this thing can be smart, right? Let me take out, instead of me using all the columns, let me use a few of the columns.
Doctor, I'm so sorry to cut in. I am so sorry to cut in.
No problem. You're fine.
I found a solution to not seeing partitioning.
Okay.
Because I eventually could not also see linear regression. So
okay.
what I did was, I tried to type linear. Then underneath that same row, I saw change settings.
Okay.
Yeah, I tried to type something like, I'm trying to search something. Then I saw change settings. For those of us that could not see everything, I clicked on the change settings, and I saw where it said include all nodes.
Oh, okay.
So now I can see partitioning, I can see linear regression, I can see every other thing.
Okay, makes
Yeah,
sense.
just like you said, there is a whole lot of them. Now I can
There's
see.
a whole lot. Yes. So maybe, yeah, I think I saw. Now that you're saying something, I think I saw something like that actually. Um.
I'm just saying it for those who are also
No,
stuck.
no, no. I understand. Yes. I saw
Okay.
something that show all. I actually probably activated it in my own time that I've forgotten. Yes, I think I did that. But those that did
Sorry,
not,
can you type partition in that your search box? Type partition in that your search box.
me?
Yes, yes, yes. I think we should be able to unblock for everyone.
Yeah.
Or the
For him, it will no longer show
it
because
will no longer
he's
show
already
because you
seen
sold it.
all. He's already seen all. Yes.
Yeah.
But
Can
right
we allow
underneath,
someone to show screen and then do it all together, solve it all together for everyone? Let me see. Uh, make a presenter. Who
okay,
wants to?
okay. Let me say this, please. Sorry to cut in again. Everyone can go to preferences. That is the easiest way to get to it. Once you click preferences, you will see nodes included in the node repository and node recommendation. Just select all nodes.
Also sort it out.
Yes, yes. It's
I
even
can
in the
see
screen. Yes, this is
I
it
can
here.
see the partitioning as well now. It's sorted out.
Okay. All nodes. Yes. Thank you.
All right. We have 3 people raising their hands. Anjorin, do you want to speak quickly? Okay. How about Kenneth? Kenneth and Read1, do you want to speak? Please, if you're not intending to speak, you can lower your hand.
Sir, I just finished downloading the node, but I'm lost since I just downloaded it. You said that you would go back at some point.
Yeah, let him finish. You will be
All
able
right.
to attend to questions, and then the recordings also will be available as well.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Mbatima, do you want to say something else? I think you can lower your hand if you are not trying to speak again. All right. Read1. So it will be helpful to keep it organized. So we are efficient. Okay, awesome. Thanks everybody. All right, you can continue.
Thank you. So now that we have partitioning, let's go back to what was there before. Control Z, right? So partitioning. So we've executed this. This is 374. Second partition is 132, right? And now we want to train. So let's see. Let's train the student. Let's see how good they are. Boom. We've trained. Right? We've trained. So now let's now evaluate. This is a student. You can see everything is green, no error. So far, we have trained our first model. Drum roll. We have trained our first model. How do we evaluate this model? Right? How do we evaluate this model? Right? There's now a regression predictor. There's something called what? Regression predictor. So what does the regression predictor do? Just imagine that this regression predictor is your invigilator. It has, so we are going to take the logic of this linear regression and give it to the predictor. It has all the marking guide. So you just give it the marking guide. This is what I used to teach them all, right? This is what I used to teach them all. And this is the student. Sorry. No. This is what I used to teach them, right? But you can see that now, look at this student, it learned on this data. But this is the exam question. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is what I use for test. This is what I use for evaluating it. Now, with this logic, with their understanding, how well can they perform? This is what he's telling me. And voila. Now, if I come and use eyes to look at it, right? I don't know. Let me see if you can see it. So there's a regression predictor. It's like, oh, under testing conditions, what can you do? Now, what can it do? It's telling me that when it predicted, so it will create a new column, prediction. When the true value was 14.5, it predicted 14.1. When the true value was 15.6, it predicted 16. When the true value was 14.8, it predicted 14.9. Fair enough. But there are a lot of data. I will be going one by one to look at it. No. Let me now make it into a graph. Let me make it into a graph to make see. So I will come to a line plot. Now, in case you don't know, you can see all these things. They are just showing you where they are. So let me come to a line plot. What am I doing? I'm trying to plot a line. So I'll come to views. I'll come to line plot. In case you don't know me, it's because I know what I'm looking for. That's why I'm just searching for it. In case you don't know, you can just browse. Oh, visualization views. You see it there. Now let me take this data from here, the output from here. Let me plot the line. I'm going to configure it. What are the things I want to plot? I just want to plot the predicted with the actual. So I want to plot this, and I want to plot what was predicted, and then okay, and then evaluate. Oof, sorry. Oh, I know why. My bad. Righty. So so in this scenario where I did a mistake, I'll reset it, reconfigure, okay, and run. Now look at how the graph is. It's telling me that the answer is made, but the student, the model predicted this. So you can see that they are close. The behavior is very, very close, right? The behavior is very, very close. But we are still using eyes for it. Let's get a score. You know, when you score, when you do a model, like you will score it. I'm going to pause for it. What do you say? Hello?
Hello,
Excuse me,
Dr.
sir.
Do you want to speak?
Yes.
Sir, can you hear me?
I
So
can
sorry,
hear you.
but I have to leave this class now. My network is too bad. So sorry.
Yeah.
Where
No
can I
problem.
access the recorded session? On the
It should be in the
Telegram group.
classroom. No.
Okay,
Classroom.google.com.
it's
This
on
is
the
classroom.
classroom.
Yes. Yeah, it should be on the
Okay,
classroom.
sir. Bye-bye, sir. See you next
Thank
week.
you. We'll miss you. Yeah. All right.
Bye.
All right. All right. So now, so now look at this. We have read it. This is the curriculum. We have split it into classwork assignment and then test and exam. After we train it with examples and classwork, we have now given it to the invigilator and he has tested. When we trained, we have now seen what their performance is on the graph. But what did they score? We have something called a numeric scorer. So that numeric scorer, what do we say? We will compare the true value against the predicted value. When we compare it, what is the score? It's telling us that, based on this, the mean absolute error is 3, the mean squared error is 23, the root mean squared error is 4. You know it is error, so the lower the better. The lower the better. Right? And so this is 3. Is 3% okay? You have to ask the business requirement. What is the room for error? Right? So now, I can boldly tell you that if you had followed me in this course, we have officially trained our first machine learning model. It's a regression, and it can predict with this minimum error. The mean absolute error is what? 3%. So that means if it's going to predict 50, if it predicts 50, it can be plus or minus 3. It can be between 53 and what? 47. Make sense? Any question so far? Any questions? Hello.
Yeah.
I know I said a lot of things, so they're supposed to be questions.
Can you go through it again for those of us following you? because where I stopped, I was able to get all the necessary diagram, but to link them, that's where I'm lost.
Okay. So now, where did you get the CSV writer? Did you get the
Yes,
partitioning? Have you
yes,
linked
all
those?
the images are already on my system right now.
So
But
from
to
the
link
CSV
them,
writer, link it to your partition.
how? What am I going to use to link it? That's my problem
No,
now.
no, just draw. If you draw from one arrow node to the other, from the output to the input, you see a line that will come forth.
Okay.
Makes sense? And from the first node of your partition, link it to your regression, linear regression learner, and then link the logic, and then boom. Make sense? Any questions so far?
It does.
Okay. So are we good?
So I'm not good though. Like my own, I just downloaded this thing, so I'm completely lost.
No. That's fine. That's fine. If you just downloaded it, you will watch the video to this. What I will do next, follow me from here on henceforth. If you just downloaded
All right.
it, don't bother. Just follow me from
All
here.
right, sir. Okay.
So now that we've done this one, right? We've done this. Let's say I'm the proprietor of a school. I employ 2 teachers. One is teaching SS1A mathematics, another is teaching SS1B mathematics. I want to compare the performance of the 2 teachers. I'm seeing the plot of this. This is impressive, right? I'm seeing the score. The score is what? Plus or minus 3. Maybe the teacher in SS1B is using a different approach. Let's see it. We're still going to do linear regression, but we're going to evaluate the significance of different approaches. As a machine learning engineer, your goal is to cultivate intelligence in an artificial environment. You can't just try one approach. That is not intelligent. No. You have to try different approaches because you don't know which is best. And one beautiful thing about NIME is the way to duplicate approach is so easy. Now, this is not what I will do because I will do it way faster, but because of understanding, I will restart again. I will take the data again. I'll take a CSV reader. So I'll create another workflow again, a CSV reader. What do I want to do? I want to partition it, right? So people that are just starting, we are using another approach to compare. Now, what will I do? I will configure. When I configure, I will track it to what? To the data set, right? To the data set. When I take it to the data set, it tells me the data set, boom, right? And then I will execute and I'll read it. So far, any questions? No questions.
So how do we get the data set?
So I dropped the link on the Q&A chat.
Just
the
to
link
click
to
it,
the data
or...
set is on the Q&A chat. Can you see it? It's on my screen.
So it's taking me to GitHub.
Yes. So this is what the data set looks like. It's take you to GitHub. So when you get here, just come here and click on download. Can you see?
Okay.
Click on download so you get it there. So now after I've read it, I've partitioned it. What have I partitioned it to? I've partitioned 70% is going to go for train and test, and then that, right? Now, after partitioning it, I'm going to add a normalizer. This is now the significance of normalizing your data. I'm going to add a normalizer. Now, all the tests. So, how will I relate normalizer? Normalizer is basically saying, I'm trying to use a classroom, maybe area of concentration. But what does normalizing your data mean? So say, for example, if I have a data and the data is 1 to 10, 1 to 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If I want to normalize the data, one approach is to take the highest number and make everything be between 0 and 1, right? So instead of it's going to be what? 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.9, and 1. Now, why is that? Why is that significant? It's significant because the difference in magnitude, the difference, if there's noise in your data, the noise we have smaller effect in the normalized data. Because, say, for example, let's say the noise is 0.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But instead of 8, instead of it to be 8, it's now 8.5 or 8.2. Right? I now did not normalize it. The difference in the noise is of magnitude 0.2. Right? No. Let me use this example. Let's say it is 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. Right? If I normalize the data, I'll divide everything by 5,000. But let's say one is supposed to be, the one that is 3,000 is now supposed to, is now 3,200. Right? If I normalize the data, the difference between 3,000 and 3,200 is 200. But if I normalize the data, right? Hold on. All right. If I say 3,200 divided by 5,000, right? That's what? 0.64. But the data is supposed to be 3,000, which is what? 0.6. Now, what's the difference? The difference is what? 0.64 minus what? 0.6. Can you compare the difference of 0.04 to 200? The noise becomes less and less evident when you normalize your data. Does that make sense? Any questions? I know I said a lot. If you don't understand, let me know. Okay, no questions. No problem. So I'm using this. Yes.
Sorry to interrupt, sir. Please, I not get that part of normalizer very well. I not get it right.
So let's assume that the raw data is 100, right? 200, right? 300, 400, and 500. Now let's assume that, oh, this is the original cleaned data, but in this clean data, there's now 330. That 30, it's a noise. It's supposed to be 300, but it's 330. Maybe somebody wrote 3 2 times instead of 0, right? Now, if I use it like this, the difference in value that I'm supposed to have is actually 30. The amount of noise or dirtiness in the data is, the magnitude is what? 30. Do you agree? Hello?
Following.
You are following. Good. Now, let's assume I now zone into this data, right? The right data is supposed to be 300, right? So if I pick 300 and I put 330, my machine learning or the students will be like, 300, 330. I'm confused. I don't know if it is 400. I don't know if it is greater than 300. What will I do? It will be confused and it will be guessing between 300 and 400. But if I normalize, if it is now 300 divided by 500, right? 300 divided by is what? 0.6. 330 divided by 500 is what? 0.66. Now 400 divided by 500 is 0.8. 0.66 is closer to 0.6 than it is closer to 0.8. So the level of confusion will be lower if I normalize my data. Any questions?
Clear.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
You are welcome. So now that's the value of normalizing. So in this one, we did not normalize. We just gave them raw. Bam. They took it. Bam. Let's the same thing. Linear regression. And then invigilator regression predictor. Let's take line plots. And you can also copy and paste to like this, Control C, Control V, instead of going and typing. You control. I'm telling you to, I'm doing that so you can see the steps it takes to, do all those things. So what am I going to do? Now, there's also a normalizer apply. Now, this data is to normalize. Let me configure. It will tell you there are different approaches of normalizing. We have min max, z-score, decimal training, right? Now, if you also notice, it will not, you might decide to normalize. It depends on your approach. You can decide to normalize this output data, and if you don't want to normalize it, you are fine. You understand? You can decide to normalize. If you don't want, it's fine. So you can decide to say you want to normalize some variables or you don't want to normalize some variables. Depending on your design approach, you are fine. I want to use min max and then boom. So after I picked it, I will execute it as normalized. Now, in a testing scenario, I want to use the same area of concentration. Like I said, normalizer is like area of concentration. The same area of concentration I use in the training is best to use that in the testing. So the test will come. So what they use to normalize in the training is what they will use to normalize the tests. That's normalizer and apply the normalizer. That's what these two modules are. So when I normalize the data, I will train the students, right? When I train the students, I will take that logic, the marking guide to the invigilator. The normalized data went to the trainer. The normalized data will go to the invigilator. We'll execute. Now, okay. Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Sorry. Just give me 1 minute. I'm going to do something now that people will be like, what happened? I'm going to partition the normalized data. I'm going to partition the normalized data. Again.
First, I have a question.
Yes.
Is it that you're just randomly connecting those lines, or is there's a specific way you're doing it?
There's nothing random. It has to be specific. Right? So now, what's your question? What's your question? Is it that you don't know what to connect from what?
Yes, what to connect from what?
So it's like a story, right? The CSV is read. When it's reading, it has to go into partitioning. Now, this partitioning is expecting this type of input. It's because I know that. That's why you're not getting an error. If you give any other type of input to it, it will not. So now, for example, this normalizer can also take this what is coming from the CSV, because the partition is also taking what is coming from the CSV. Do you understand? Like I can take this, I can bypass this and come here. Do you understand? Without going through the partitioner. But I'm partitioning because I want to reserve some data for testing. Do you understand? Everything has an input configuration and an output configuration. If you put the wrong input to it, it will give you an error. Do you understand? So it's not at random. Am I making sense?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, sir.
So now, yes. Before I confuse a lot of people because I'm doing something not expected. Yes. Now, look at this model. This model from the CSV, I've partitioned it. 30% comes here, 70% comes here. After I normalize it, that normalized data, I want to partition it into train and tests. Right? That's what I'm doing. So put it like this. This is everything they will see for classwork. Right? I've normalized it. In that classwork, I've now reserved someone for quiz and tests. That's why I'm partitioning it again. Right? That's why I'm partitioning it again. So this partition now is at 70%. I've given it to it. Midway, I'm going to evaluate it. I'm going to evaluate this small one. Right? I'm going to convert the marking guide and give it. Am I making sense? Hello?
So is it like a reason why you had to partition the data that you normalized?
Is there a reason why I had to create this flow, right? Where I
Yeah.
partitioned the data I normalized? Yes. Now, in machine learning, as much as possible, you want to avoid overfitting. Now, overfitting is something called cramming. In what we mean by cramming, where the data has been memorized by the model. So in what they see, they will perform well, but they will perform badly on what they did not see. Right? So that's what we're trying to avoid. Now, in the first instance, we've partitioned it into, this is what will be tests. This is what will be the exam, right? We've partitioned it. Now, in the 70% too, we now want to partition it such that we can evaluate midway and say, hey, this regression learner, and you will see the significance of it once we run the numeric score. This regression learner, I have trained you. Now test. Now it is not important. This may be my own style. Like I said, the teacher in SS1A, the teacher in SS1B, right? You know what? Don't let me make it too complex for you. I'm going to delete this. I'm going to delete this. The normalized data is here, right? Let me take this out. The normalized data is here, and then the test question is here, right? I will run it, and I will run it. Now, what does this tell me? The same way we evaluated the first one is telling me that because this was normalized, when you see 0.39, it's seeing 0.385. When it's seeing 0.3, it's seeing 0.34. Let me link it to a line plot. Let me see and evaluate the performance. ID. Everything comes here. And then goes, this goes. Okay. Execute. Now you can see how close they are together, right? Let me take this one and also do the numeric score. Now look at this. What is the score that is giving me? You know, I told you lower is better. It's giving me that the mean average score is 0.079. 0.079 compared to the numeric score of what? 3. Which one is better? Hello?
0 point is 0 point.
0 point. So the second approach is better with the normalizer. Am I making sense? Hello?
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are. All right. Thank you. And we've been able to train 2 machine learning models, though they are linear regression. We've been able to train 2 of them with different approaches, one with a normalizer, one without normalizer. Now, which begs the question, this is how easy it is without coding to train different, you can train multiple workflows and test them, right? You can train multiple workflow and test them on the go. Do you understand what I mean?
So I understand. It's just there are still a lot of things that I'm finding it hard to understand.
Like what?
I can't see. Maybe because maybe all these things that are on the 9 nodes, the nodes, I'm finding it hard to understand some of them. I don't know what they actually do.
Can you give an example of the one you don't understand?
Something like numeric server. Something like,
so it's not, for now, don't disturb yourself about whatever you are not using. If you can get there, we will get there. If you can't, there are some nodes you will never use because the project did not, you don't want to go down the rabbit hole of learning and learning. Don't worry, don't bug yourself. For example, all your life you've been speaking English. Can you tell me the meaning of every word in the dictionary? No, but you are still a good communicator of English. So don't go into the rabbit hole of no. We are very applied. If someone tells you and gives you a CSV file, right now, you can boldly say that with 9, I can do this and I can build a model. Right?
Yes, sir.
Right? Good. So now if that comes and they say, hey, because we've only done line plots. Do bar charts. Bar chart. Just come. Bar chart. Oh, it's a bar chart. What are the configurations you need? Oh, it's just like line chart, right? Let me link a data to it. I'll just link a data to it. Right? Now, look at what is happening. I've linked the data to it. It's telling me, okay, table contains no compatible. So this one is telling me that that data may not match my, what I need, right? That's what it is telling me. Do you understand? So now you know that you cannot run. That's why someone that asks that, am I just joining anyone randomly? No, you have to know. So you can see this one as saying the data that is inside, we can't plot it as a bar chart. That's what this is telling me. So that means, and if you notice, even though I've added an input to the bar chart, it's not turning red. It's not giving me to execute. But when we get to bar chart visualization, we will know what to do. Do you understand what I mean? So I don't want you to run, because you are new to this, don't run victim into the rabbit hole of, hey, I want to know everything that is there. No. Some of them you may never use. Make sense? Okay. Any questions?
We have
Yes, I
someone.
have a question.
Stephanie. Okay.
Yeah,
Is that
sorry
Stephanie?
for
All right,
that.
go ahead.
This is Josephine.
Okay, you can continue.
Okay, please, can you go back to, okay, maybe.
Can I go back here?
Yes. So, okay, you drew a line from the partition to the normalizer. Then you also drew a line from the partitioning to the normalizer apply.
Yes.
Is it the normalizer? Is it that it normalizes the data? Then the normalizer applies what to normalize? Like, what's the difference?
So when you normalize, right, you are going to normalize with a particular, like a normalizer in itself is a model. The normalizer, you can see normalized model. It has its own, model. So the normalizer has its own parameters that it used to normalize, right? So for this column, right, it used this variable. If I decide to use another normalizer that creates another variable, right, you have changed the spectrum or area of concentration. The data will be confused and you may not be stable. So what this means is that the logic and all the models I used to normalize, all the parameters I used to normalize, apply it to the normalizer I apply. That will now apply it to any new data instead of us. So I can pick this data, this test data. It's different from the trained data. If I normalize the test data, I will get new variables. It won't be within the scope of what I used in the trained data. So that is why I need to, what I used for the trained data, I must apply those sequences or restrictions to the test data. That's why. Am I making sense?
Sir.
Okay. Any other questions? Stephanie? Josephine? Festus?
Stephanie has taken down here.
Busayo Koka, are you there? Shoyemi?
Someone, Emmanuel Azibuke, I can't see your hand. It's complaining that is there no one seeing my hand? Sorry, I can't see your hand, though, Emmanuel. Okay, Mishak, please go ahead. Meshach, continue with your question, please. Oh, sorry, I have to give you permission. Okay. Can you try now? So while Meshach is coming up, I just want to kind of like give context. A lot of people seem lost. Why is because I hear you thinking, why are we using this node, for example? You know, why are we using partitioning? You know, and Dr. Tilo has really taken time to really answer that. And if you, again, we didn't repeat classes that we took in cohort 1, you know, and I think there's a part in your slide, Dr. Tulu, can you show that? There's a slide in a part in your slide that shows the machine learning sequence. Yeah. So your choice of models is being defined by this workflow here. Now, Dr. Tolu trained a model. He didn't, you know, he just trained the model based on the raw data that came. The model was able to predict some, but it wasn't good enough, right? That's the model evaluation stage. So after evaluating the model, okay, no, I'm not satisfied with the error. The error gap is too much, you know. And then he now thought of, okay, what components can I add to these workflow or to the training that will improve the model. So it is essentially a cycle. You know, someone asked a question. I was like, okay, you know, how do I know that I would need this? I would need this particular node. You may not. You would likely not, right? If your model, what you have in mind, you try it, and then you have, you know, a model that is able to do good enough prediction the first time. But model creation is an iterative process. You have to go through this loop, you know, over and over again. So don't be afraid of, you know, trying a new method. Okay, what if I add a new component? But just make sure that you understand the reason why you're using it. The reason why Dr. Tolu used a normalizer here is, you know, it is what we call feature engineering. I don't know if you guys recall from last course, feature engineering. You are essentially massaging the data to increase the signal in the data, right? It's the same data, but you are transforming it essentially, right? That's the only thing that created a magic here. So, you know, take your time and just, you know, get your hands dirty. All these things will become intuitive, will come intuitively over time, right? So don't put yourself under any pressure, as I said. Okay, Meshach, do you want to speak now?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you while you are talking, sir.
No
Dr.
problem.
Tolu, I greet, sir.
Yes, I'm greeting too.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I came very late. I was engaged and I couldn't connect. I was waiting on our what we used the last time. Not until I saw the link beside. I didn't look. Yeah, please. This this graphic application. Could I don't know that if I'm correct. What I use it, sir? Because I came very late. I'm so sorry that I had to ask that, so I can go and find out myself a bit, sir.
So we are using KNIME, KNIME, KNIME. And on the slides, yeah, there's a link to download it.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah. So
okay, sir. Okay.
Don't worry, you get it.
So I don't draw the class back. I will check the video after, sir. Thank you.
So yes. Any questions so far? So we've been able to train two models. We've seen the value of normalization. We've seen why we need to partition, right? We partition because, you know, and all these things you might come and evaluate. The beautiful thing about machine learning is there are a lot of, so what if I say what if I say 99%, right? 99% is used for training. What is the significance of that? Right? What if I say 99%? Okay, reset. Right? And then it does this. And then what if I say that? What is that telling me? with 99% as classwork, you can see that the error is now 0.2. You know, before it was 0.0 something. It's now 0.2. That means it has crammed. I've given all of them. So when you now see, it will pass the assignment well. It will pass the assignment well, right? But when it sees classwork or assignment or anything that it doesn't know, it has crammed. That's what that is telling me. Now, that's why you need to understand. So if I come and I say, hey, 100%, what if I give it, 40%? Right? What if I give it 40%? Right? What's that telling me? It's telling me that boom, 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 and boom. With 40%, what's the score? 0.083. You see, it's still not as good. That means we did not give it enough classwork for it to learn. We did not give it enough classwork. So in many situations, these are called hyperparameters that you can play with. You can play with and then see that, oh, your model is performing as appropriate as possible. Any questions so far? Hello. Okay. I plan that we're going to do some logistic regression, but that might span over time, right? But let me see if we can do this. And so far we follow the class is easy, so I think this should be fast. Why don't we try a polynomial regression? It's just the same thing, but I just want to demonstrate something. A CSV reader, or I can come here, Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V, partition, Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V, normalizer, Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V. So instead of me to, be typing, right? But instead of this, I will use a polynomial. So I can just come to regression. This just lets me know all the regression algorithms I have at my disposal. So I want polynomial, a polynomial learner, right? And a polynomial invigilator. Where are they? Whoa. Is there no polynomial? Let me see. A polynomial. So if there's no polynomial, right? If there's no polynomial, then you just use a regression predictor, because this will probably work for all regression. So it doesn't collide. Bring this down. So far there are no questions, right? Because we understand what the CSV reader is doing. I'm just going to give it data. And when I do that, yep. So this is not a problem. We've partitioned it. We are normalizing, right? We normalize, and then we'll send this to the regression predictor. We'll send this to this, and this will train on this. And then Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V. It's just the same thing. It just shows that there are different algorithms you can, test. We want to see if, the polynomial is just the same thing, right? Now, let's come and check. It has also auto-configured it for us, so we are good. Regression, we've applied it. Then let's check the score. Right, when we check the score, you can see this is what? This is the best so far, 0.061. Make sense? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hello? Do you understand what I just did?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So it just goes to
Yes.
show that, yep. Okay.
Yes,
And
but please, what's the difference between the linear and the polynomial?
So just like a linear formula is just a straight line of best fit. Y is equal to mx plus c. A polynomial like a quadratic equation or raised to power 3, when the x is raised to power 1 is linear. When x is raised to power 2 is quadratic. When x is raised to power 3 or the highest power of x is greater than 3, it's a polynomial, right? So a polynomial will not find line of best fit, but it will find the curve of best fit. The curve of best fit. So let me see if I can do this. Polynomial versus, line. Okay. Linear regression. It will just show you curve images, right? A line will show line of best fit, while a polynomial will show curve of best fit. That's the best way to show you. In some cases, it will cram, but basically curve of best fit. So it is much more flexible, literally much more flexible compared to linear. Make sense? So we've been, and look at the beautiful thing is we just trained a model in less than 3 minutes. Another model. So if you are, you want to be a superstar, go and train this model. Oh, I've given you 3 samples. Our best model, best yet, is what? 0.061 MAE. And then they will say, Farabale now, calm down. Right? Abi, and that's the prayer we want, to be superstars in the workplace, right? So this is just an introductory, section to the powers of 9, right? It's recorded. So I want you guys to go through. You have access to the data set. Play with the data set. From next class, everybody is going to work on their data set. I will just post it there. Everybody will work on it and then, give me answer. It will not be busting class, but people will do it. Then we will now talk of what if your data is not clean? What do you do? What if, for example, I give you this data and I'm going to give you a threshold and say, hey, with this data, so let me demonstrate something to you. Control C, Control D. Right? I'm going to use another thing called rule engine. Rule engine, right? I'm going to paste it. I'm going to link them together. And I'm going to say, hey, read this data. But when you read this data, based on a rule, append a new column. So maybe, for example, I take this column and I say, if it is greater than equal to 25, right? Create a column and say it is what? Expensive. It's an expensive house, right? Also, if it is less than 25, make it what? Cheap. Hold on. String greater than. Let me see. Append column. So change the column to name. Now to class. All right. So now this is telling you all the operations you can do in the rule book, right? So greater than, equal to. Oh, okay. I see what I did wrong. All right. Expensive. Yep. All right. So now apply. So I told you to append column. Okay. So now if you look at this rule book and I execute it, now there's a new column called class. You can see cheap, expensive, cheap, expensive, cheap, expensive. I just created that column right now based on this rule engine. This one is not going to have that column. This one is going to have that column. So what if we have to create new features, like Israel said, feature engineering? We have to create new features that will give the model much more context. What if we have to create new features that we have the mean, the median, the mode, the standard deviation, something like that. Those are ways when we are cleaning data. But our next class, we are still going to focus on creating more models. What of models with Keras? Now, if you look at, some of you won't have these libraries, Keras. If you search for it, you're not going to have it, right? You have to come to menu, install extensions. When you come to install extensions, it will pop out the window and you type Keras, right? Because I've installed it, that's why it's not showing, right? So when you install it, you have to add that subset to it so you can install extensions and all. But I think, so as not to overwhelm you, this is a good, place to stop today. Any questions? I'm expecting an overwhelming amount of questions. Meshach, you raised up your hand. Any questions? Nobody is talking now.
They've all mastered it. 100%.
Sir, it's not like we have actually mastered it. Now we have an idea of what it's actually about. Well, maybe I'm just speaking for me, but I have an idea of what it's about.
Yeah, that's fine. It may be, it's a lot to take in, but next week I will know if the seed I have planted has germinated, because the fruit is the questions you are going to be asking. I want Stephanie to be firing me. I want Josephine. Before I land, I want to scratch my head, because from your questions I will also learn. I want Festus. Come, everybody has their stuff installed. Everybody's with their computers. Everybody is working step by step as we do. As I'm doing some features, someone says, I think, we should use a train test split of 60%. Or no, what if we do this? Or how? Those are the kind of things that would be encouraging, So I want us to, be consistent, zoning. You've seen that, from anywhere with this tool, you can get a job, in-demand jobs, right? So any questions from anyone?
Dr. Tolu, thank you very much for this class. I think we just need more time to digest the information. From my own perspective, I don't think it's going to be a very difficult thing to learn. We just need to digest the information.
Yeah, I agree. No problem. So, in the absence of no question, in the presence of no question, in the absence of questions, right? I think this is a good to stop. Yeah. Someone said something. Okay. So,
Yeah, I think it's just someone that being mute.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, we have two people actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm listening to you, Meshach.
Yeah, sorry, please, sir. How are we going to have the recording for this class? Because
yes,
it is after I've gone through another stuff before we can start asking questions. Because for now, I think it's the first time, so it will be more better for at least maybe like 24 hours to go through.
You will get it tonight. You just pay attention to your emails. Are you in the classroom? Classroom.google.com. Are you there?
Yeah. I am, sir.
Yeah. So you should receive a notification once it's added to the classroom.
Okay. That'll be fine, sir. Yes, sir.
Hello, Francis. Oh, Mesak. I think it's Mesak. Please go on with your question. Who's speaking? Oh, okay. I was hearing hello just now. Obina, do you want to go? Hello. Okay. I think it's just I'm not really sure why they're not speaking. I think it's
Oh,
been a good class.
okay.
Yeah, altogether, thank you so much for taking today's class and for sharing this much with us. And to everyone, please practice, practice, practice. You know, all this information and knowledge you've just acquired will evaporate in no time if you don't practice, right? So um, we have our community on classroom.google.com and then on Telegram where you can ask questions. So it's your practice. I'm already seeing some images of what people are trying, you know. So keep doing that and then share your hyperparameters and see or change your hyperparameters to see if you get a better prediction and all that, right? So thank you for joining today's class and we continue next Saturday. See you next class, guys. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining today. Or Francis, is Francis trying to speak? Okay, I think Francis is trying to speak. Hi, Francis. Connecting with microphone. Francis.
Can you hear me,
Yes,
sir?
now my mic is working. I've
Can you hear me,
been
sir?
trying to speak. So I asked a question in the Q&A. I said I've often heard about data analysis, or is it data analytics? And I've heard about design thinking. So can this whole process done with data on this NIME app be referred to as any of the above, whether data analysis or data analytics or design thinking? Thank you.
Well, what we've just done right now is both analytics and machine learning model creation, right? So design thinking is a totally different subject. I don't think it's related. You want to use design thinking to solve a problem. If you're building a product, if you're trying to solve a difficult challenge with with products, especially, why should people use your product and all that. So I think that's a different concept entirely. But part of what you would have to deploy when you're building a machine learning model will include the ability to be able to ask the right questions, ability to think from the first principle. And those are the things that, Dr. Tula showed us right here this evening. It's not necessarily, I won't categorize that as design thinking, right? But yes, what you've just seen here is data analytics, with all the chatting, all the data understanding exploratory nodes that they used, and then the actual model creation aspect, right? Well, I don't know if Dr. wants to, put more, you want to answer that question?
No, I think you have properly elaborated on it. We would we will go through something called probably elicitation, how to ask questions around digital giving, how to make sure you are zoned in and focused towards the business objective or the objective of the analytics exercise, right? And then turn towards model creation, how you benchmark the performance of the model and everything. All those things are also critical, at least to achieving the objective, right? So that's just what I wanted to add to what you just said. So
I think we can draw the curtain here. We don't have more hands raised, and it's
I have a
precisely
question.
7:07.
What's your question?
Okay, Obina. Is that Obina?
Yes. This is Josephine.
Oh, okay.
Hi,
Yeah,
Josephine.
sorry, I don't know. Do I need to be signed into GitHub? Because I've been having issues downloading the data set. Do I need to sign into GitHub to download it? The file is not downloading. I don't know why.
I don't think you need to be signed in.
Let me try that without signing in. Do you
I'm
have an
trying.
account? Let me
I
use
don't have the
incognito and see.
I will try to see if I can,
Yeah. No, you don't.
okay.
You should
Maybe
see
my
this. You should see an icon that says download raw file.
okay.
Let me see if I can share my screen. Yeah, the icon download raw file should be to the right of that window. I think the view is different from when you're logged in, but you should be able to download the file as well. If you're not logged in. Did you see the button? You see raw, copy icon, and then download icon. Raw, copy icon, and download icon.
Yes, I can see it.
All right then, cool.
Okay. What is my network?
Can I create a CSV file? What I mean is, can anybody create a CSV file?
The most important thing in your machine learning journey is that you don't want to just create any data out of the thin air. As long as the data doesn't represent real life, you've already missed the point, right? So this data here represents housing prices in United States, in the states in United States, right? And they're now trying to predict what will the housing price be in the future, right? So of course you can create a CSV file if you have the data that it maps to, So if you want to collect data or create a CSV file that of the data that you have, maybe machine maintenance cycle, or maybe global warming data, or some people are saying the world is not warming. It's a lie. If you have the data.
Hello, Israel, did you call me? Stop sharing.
Hello?
Yeah?
Good evening,
I have
sir.
one last question.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I'm not hearing you.
Okay, should I
We
go
can
on
hear
my
you.
last question?
Okay, what's the last question?
You mentioned when you were teaching us, you mentioned that the 9 app can use other documents like Excel. Hello?
Yes, you can.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. What's your question?
Okay, so you mentioned Excel and other files. So
Yes.
does this mean that does this mean
Continue. We stop.
When I carry cycle, this thing, I don't know, but it's not connecting well.
Who is the person?
Who is speaking?
I was asking a question, but there was
No, continue.
Okay. Does this mean that we can do the same thing with data in other files that is not CSV file, other file saved in other file format like Excel, apart from data saved in CSV file?
Yes. Okay. That's what it means.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? No? No problem. So thank you very much, everyone. Same time, and I just want us to at least join early because it's going to get more hands-on from here henceforth, and for us to move fast because there will be questions and things we have to ask ourselves, in case there are problems so that we can walk through it better. Right? So Thank you very much, everyone. Right? Have a lovely, lovely weekend. Take care of
Bye,
yourselves.
everybody. See you next
Thank
week.
you. Thank you,
Good
sir.
night, sir. Thank you very
Thank you
much.
for the opportunity. Good night.
Good night. Bye-bye.